Dollar General's been doing some shady shit. Oh, you don't say. I used to work there, man, and it was shady, let me tell you. They were just letting people shoplift. Like, they didn't even care. They were just letting people shoplift. Let's see what this one's about, though. What Dollar General doesn't want you to know. And I will tell you whether or not it's true.
I've begun to really see Dollar General as like a criminal organization.
You are stealing from my community, and I think they're very aware of it.
It's a classic bait and switch.
Somebody at the top is making a lot of money.
Go for a drive in any American county, and you'll likely soon pass by the yellow and black lettering of a Dollar General.
Bro, I live in a town of 3,000, little more than 3,000 people. Towns around me, 3,000. There are 3 Dollar Generals within 15 miles of me. 3 of them. 2 of the 3 are literally in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing but the Dollar Generals. And then there's one smack dab in the middle of my town, which is like the main grocery store in my town is Dollar General. There's nothing else.
Drive a little further, and another will appear. Then another, then another.
Here's the other Dollar General store. It's 7 miles from the last Dollar General store we were at.
With nearly 20,000 Dollar General stores in 48 states, the Tennessee-based discount chain has sunk its teeth into lower-income, rural, and suburban areas everywhere.
It's easy to look at the dollar stores and think they are a sign of economic distress or a symptom of economic distress, but what...
Bro, you ever been in a Dollar General? Everything in there is super expensive. And they pretend that it's not. They pretend, oh, these are low prices. Oh, 35% off on the weekends only.
What we found is that they're in fact
25% off.
Underneath Dollar General's so-called low everyday prices in convenient locations lies a sinister business model.
Even lower prices. There's an actual grocery store across from Dollar General in my town, and everything is cheaper in there. But you think it's not because of the way Dollar General prices their items.
And a massive scandal that hardly anybody knows about.
The fact that we have to sue a company to get them to tell the truth is absurd in my mind to begin with.
My name is Lori Hartline. I am a Dollar General shopper out of convenience in my neighborhood. What you see here is when you travel, you'll go from looking for a grocery store, and before you get one, you have 3 Dollar General options. And that's all you have.
In May of 2022, Lori Hartline started noticing some seemingly harmless discrepancies while shopping at her local Dollar General.
When they opened up in, I think it was 2021, their price of my kitty litter was $8.95. Great. I purchased it all the time. I didn't pay attention. I go up there, I check out, I leave. Well, one day, wait a minute, $10? I noticed it. I asked him about it. Oh no, they've raised the price. Well, that doesn't sound...
As a worker for Dollar General, or former worker for Dollar General, I will tell you, we raise the prices constantly. And we wouldn't do it all at once. We would do it section at a time, so you wouldn't notice. Until you do notice, and everything has been, you haven't been in a Dollar General in a month, and you've noticed that the same things that you always get are suddenly 10% more expensive or 20% more expensive than they were the last time you got them.
Lay it on the shelf. Well, they just have to change it. It's in the computer.
Yep. We don't get the tags changed near fast enough, and there was a point where we were changing prices every day during the pandemic. Literally every day. Like, sometimes things would change in price more than one time a week. And we weren't fast enough, and we would have to change the price on the computer if people noticed it. If not, then they were just getting upcharged. And how are we as the workers to know that? We don't know the individual prices of every item and what's been changed and what's not been changed. I mean, we do if we go back on the computer and look, but we legit don't have time to do that. We have to do the job that we're doing until time to go. And that's it, because there's no time to do anything else. You have a quota to meet by the end of the night. You don't meet these quotas, you get in trouble.
It's not on the shelf. Next week, go in and buy cat litter. Same thing. That is not what the price says on the shelf. What am I doing wrong here? I was watching the news one morning and heard about Dollar General in the state of Ohio was being sued for deceptive pricing. That is what happens to me. I knew I wasn't crazy. I know it's just not me.
After months of repeatedly being overcharged by Dollar General, Lori wrote a letter to the Oklahoma Attorney General.
And within 2 days, I got a response that they forwarded.
Yeah, it's because Dollar General has this just get it done attitude to the employees without thinking about how they're going to get it done, whether or not they have enough time, whether or not they have the right tools to do it, because every fucking thing was broken in there. Self-checkout never worked. The scanner gun things never worked. And when one of them would break, we were down to one, by the way. I haven't been working there in over a year. They still have that one single scanner that's got a busted screen that they all have to share. And the Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Did the letter. Great. They responded back. Dollar General did. And they apologized and they said, we'll have a gift card for you. I said, okay, well, let me just ask, how much is it for? $10. Tell her to keep it. I don't want it. It was insulting.
Lori's story was brought to attorney Mark Dan, where it became the basis for one of 3 class action lawsuits in Oklahoma, New York, and New Jersey.
We're sorry that we lied to you. We're going to keep doing it, but here's $10.
I don't think there's any question that Dollar General is doing this intentionally and systematically.
June 22nd, I was overcharged 4 items out of 11. $7.95 was advertised $6.50.
If you tell me one thing and then charge me something else, in almost every jurisdiction in America, that would be theft by deception. Corporations, as we now know from the U.S. Supreme Court, are people, and people need to follow the law.
Dollar General's deceptive business practices run deeper than most realize, according to Stacy Mitchell, a researcher at the Institute for Local Self-Reliance.
I think what they're looking for is places that have been that lack, economic and political power. Places.
Yeah, because who's going to sue them if they don't got the time? They're working every single day. They ain't got the money to hire a lawyer. They're just going to go back to the store and get their money back if they notice it.
That they can push around. They're often building in such numbers that it becomes impossible for a new grocery store or other locally owned businesses to develop in a neighborhood that really needs them. They kind of lock in poverty as they grow because poverty is the thing that really fuels these companies' bottom lines.
So we have the poorest people in the country going to a store that's deceiving them about the price that they're charging for the goods. In a situation where they have very few other realistic choices. I think it's about as exploitive a business plan as I've ever seen.
And I think a big problem is that people keep going to them thinking that they're cheap without realizing they're not actually. Go to the local stores. They're the same price, man. They're the same price. They don't have all these deals that Dollar General has on the weekends. Sure. They don't have all of these 5 for $5 2-liter sodas. Sure. But when you buy from these local places, you're feeding the economy of your town. If you're buying from Dollar General, that does not feed the economy of the town. That money goes back to Dollar General. It doesn't go into the town. The Dollar General's not spending their money in the town for their supplies.
Almost every county in America and every state has a system for making sure that people who run cash registers do so honestly.
Price verification is when we see that a product is listed for $2.99, take it up to the register, scan it, make sure it's ringing up as $2.99. We do a random sample of products that we pull. We're used to seeing 1 or 2 failures, getting it corrected, and feeling confident. Unfortunately, in Dollar General's case, it was large and continuous. The scale or the concern was over 80% of the stores that we checked were failing and failing repetitively, and really no acknowledgement or desire to correct.
Another big problem that Dollar General has is they like to hire people who are local, and these local people hate Dollar General. They're just trying to get ahead. And Dollar General sucks for employees, especially at the bottom. And that's where you're hiring from, is the people from the bottom to fill the higher positions. And they hate the company. They're just trying to get ahead. They don't care about the company. That's how you get all this destruction at the bottom level, is because the top guys are making rules for the very bottom guys without ever seeing what it's like to work at the bottom. They don't know what's going on. They just know that they have to make their system work at the top, and so they implement all these shitty systems to counteract everything that works incorrectly. Like, they have systems in place to counteract all of the shoplifting that happens. They have ways that they make money to get around that. And it's just, man. I hate working for corporations. I hate that corporations even exist.
That failure.
Despite being cited repeatedly, Dollar General neglected to correct the problem, prompting the Ohio Attorney General to file litigation against the store.
One unique component
$1 million.
in our conversation was the recognition of how Dollar General staff were receiving no guidance, and were just kind of keeping the place open as best they could.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, when people would show me, people would have to show me things as it would become a problem. You know, and I'd have to figure things out. Which, sure. But when you've got that much technology and this many systems, and also nothing works on top of that, like, no, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it. You need to get your system in order. Because you're going to fail. I can't wait until all these companies fail. All these garbage companies that have been stealing from Americans. I cannot wait. One by one, they all fall down.
Not really necessarily aware of the price verification challenge, their duty and responsibility under Ohio law, and then opportunities to correct it.
If you have designed a business where you are deliberately understaffing your stores, you're deliberately
2 people. That's all you get at night. It's 2 people at night. Run the whole store. You get a manager and you get an associate. The associate stocks, and while they're not stocking, they run the register. They run the register. While they're not running the register, they stock. That's it. That's all they have time for. They can't do anything else. So if anything breaks, or if anything fails, or if they have a problem with a customer, or if they have to clean something up, that throws off the entire night, and you can't get anything done. And those 2 people are the only 2 people stocking the entire store. They have like 10 different jobs to do. If you're a manager, you have all of the same responsibility as a regular associate, on top of having to close or open the store depending on which shift you got. And it's not enough. It's not enough. You need at least 4 people working at night as well as during the day to get everything done that they need to get done. But they can't do that. They aren't going to do that because they don't want to pay that much money. But they will still also let people shoplift. You could stop the shoplifting and use the money that you're making from stopping the shoplifting to pay for extra employees. No, they're not doing that. Of course they're not doing that. They're cutting corners because it's easier.
cutting costs. You're going to end up having these kinds of, widespread mistakes in pricing. I mean, that's just the reality of you are not actually providing enough labor to comply with the law and make sure that people are getting charged what the price actually is. They have decided that they can make more profit by violating all of these laws, by understaffing, by cutting corners.
They're just going to fine us $1 million. That's all they're going to fine us for. I mean, we've made $30 million off of this. They're just going to fine us $1 million. Cool, we'll just keep doing it.
And right now, the fines that are associated with doing that are simply a cost of doing business. They are too low to make a difference and to stop this organization from behaving this way.
Dollar General has been
You need to go in there and start shutting all these companies down, every store that's breaking the law. If there's a Dollar General that is breaking the law and is not pricing things accordingly, shut it the fuck down.
fined over $20 million by states and the federal government since 2017. But those fines, which pale in comparison to the amount Dollar General has siphoned from communities, have done little to change the company's behavior.
There are 19,000 stores. There are literally millions of transactions a day, millions of items sold a day in Dollar General stores. And even if at 10% of the time they're stealing 10 cents on 10% of the items that are sold, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars going into the pockets of Dollar General shareholders and out of the pockets of the poorest people in America.
If you're a systematic violator of laws as a company, what's the deeper way that we can go after you? At some point, you've got to be shut down if you can't reform your behavior, because clearly this one-off approach that we're using is not working.
And I think that it's time for Dollar General to pay the price civilly, to pay the customers for what they've stolen from them, to change their business practices for how they go forward in the future.
No, I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. Just fucking shut them down, because they're not going to get right. They're not. How long has it been? How long has it been? How much money? How many lobbyists are involved? No. They don't deserve to keep going. They don't deserve to just change their ways and keep going. Shut them the fuck down. That's it. That's done. I'm done with that.
And I don't think it's far-fetched at all to think that the corporate executives who hatched this scheme ought to be prosecuted.
Yeah,
They can
100%.
build this little metal building in a week, maybe 2 max, and everybody's getting ripped off every day. It's only a quarter here. It's a dime here. It's 35 cents here. Who has the time to go and write a letter and complain over a quarter? Well, I do.
I think somebody needs to do that in my town, because my town, I think, is one of the worst at it. Because when I was working there, man, like, constant, like, one after the other, people would be like, this is not the right price, this is not the right price, this is not the right price. It's gotten to the point where regular Dollar General shoppers are scanning the items themselves to see if they match the price online. And guess what? I'd have to change every single item's price in the system every time it would come up, because I still wouldn't have enough time to go and change all the prices of everything. And even if I tried, I'd get the wrong labels and they'd still be the wrong price. Dollar General's garbage. A lot of these companies do the exact same thing. And I think that they need to be burned to the fucking ground. They don't get a chance. They've had their chance.